I think it worked. Yes, it is working. What's up,
Yes, it is
everybody?
working.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode number 73,
Yeah,
Jump
with
Street Podcast.
the highly anticipated Bfree.
Yes, very excited for this one.
Highly anticipated, highly requested by
Yes,
the host as well as the guests.
yes.
So this is a
Often
good one finally.
imitated, never duplicated. Bfree. Look at you, bro. You got a nice haircut.
Damn, I know.
You,
I'm
you got
I'm
red.
trying to win best coif 2 years in a row at Winter Clash.
You got ready for episode 73.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, Bfree's on. I need to look proper.
Let me get ready.
I probably should wore something different than a $5 H&M shirt, but whatever.
Hey,
Haircut makes up for it.
Hey, rules the world. The H&M shirts. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you're
right.
you're looking a little different today.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I got a nice background over here, nice different background. My partner Corey, she's house sitting here, so I came down to visit her, but that wasn't gonna, stop the podcast from happening. So we just set up here, put everything down here.
It looks good.
So,
Looks
yeah.
good. It looks like you're in like the woods or something though.
Now I'm in Laguna Beach.
Okay, so definitely
the
not.
beach
It looks
is,
like,
like,
there's
right
like
over there.
trees and shit in the backyard. I was like, oh, it looks like you're in like the forest.
Yeah, I wish
Definitely
I could
not.
block
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So
Thank you everyone for joining today. As per usual, I have to do my spiel. And in my spiel, I will ask you to please follow us on all of our platforms. Instagram, give us a follow. Go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe button, and then the notification bell. So when we have a show, things like this just pop up, or anything random that we do, you get a notification, and you can check us out live right then and there. We have a Facebook. Give us a like. Go to our iTunes page. Give us a 5-star rating if you can. Give us a review. And as always, sharing the video on YouTube really helps. Commenting, these things really help with the algorithm and the interactions, and help boost our thing to the top. So all of these interactions we really appreciate. We also have a Patreon. So if you want to become a Patreon on our show, it could be a little bit as $1, it could be $5, it could be $20, but all these Patreon things really help us. And every time we do a drawing at the end of every month, and someone can get a free piece of clothing or a piece of merch from our store. They can get a mug, get a bunch of different stuff. So being a Patreon, and we're also going to start getting exclusive content for the Patreon, which Austin and I have been starting to work on this week. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be reviews. We're going to be doing opinion pieces. It's going to be a bit of a vlog. So we're going to be starting to offer a lot more for the Patreons this week. So check out that soon.
Hell yeah. Everybody who's part of our Patreon, like Billy said, thank you so much. We have some new Patreon supporters this month. I want to give a quick shout out to Jacob Hayes, Luke Ayton, Mike Olson, and extra special shout out to Chris Deester, who gave us a generous donation this past month. So thank you guys all so much for your support.
Yeah, huge shout out.
Yeah, huge shout out to Chris Deester. We send you a bunch of shit if you're watching this, by the way. So that should be expected soon. Yeah, he just wanted to support us in just whatever we have going on in the future, our travels when COVID and the pandemic calms down and we're able to go to events and stuff like that again. So definitely much appreciated for everybody. And like Billy said, we have a monthly drawing. So, every month we want to give a little back to our Patreon supporters who do so much for us. So be a part of the community. We have more content coming up this week. We're going to post it. So stay tuned for all that stuff. Exclusivity.
Yeah,
hell yeah. Other than that, let's do the hit bomb real quick. I got to do my spiel.
Gotta do yours now.
I got to do my spiel. Everyone check out hitbomb.com for 100% plant-based CBD oils and topicals. Wait. Okay, my bad. I thought I glitched for a second. Use code JumpStreet at checkout for 15% off your entire order. They also do free samples on the website if you're curious for your CBD bomb to see how it affects you and everything. It's just CBD, no THC, so no need to worry about that stuff. Also, feels really good on your muscles, your joints. Just keeps you feeling healthy and revived, especially when you're skating and you're falling, because that happens to all of us, even the best of us. So check it out, hitbomb.com. Code JumpStreet for 15% off at checkout.
Stuff works. Good stuff.
Stuff works. So without further ado, are we ready?
Yeah, I feel like without further ado, we can get it. We spoke of all the contests, we've done everything, and they've all gone down. And now we get to get to talk to Bfree.
Hell yeah, we're gonna have Bfree join us right now. Hopefully he's ready. He was scared about not being ready. So let's check this out. There we go.
Oh, perfect. We just got him.
Yo, what's
What's
going
up?
on?
How y'all doing?
We are good. What's going on with you?
Man, not too bad. Just still getting situated and settled in, and yeah, just checking on the chickens right now. They were just going crazy.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
crazy.
Could you tell me about that? You have chickens or chicks? What's going on?
Chickens, like they were chicks about like I swear like a week ago, and like in like 2 weeks or in a week and a half, they grew huge. Like they have all the it's crazy. So yeah, the chickens are we're trying to get those eggs. You know what I mean? So out in the country life and living in the out in the country right now. It's pretty much where I am right now. And
Where are you living? Where are you?
yeah, we moved like a little bit outside of Sacramento. So like we're like out there talking horses, talking
Chicken.
deer and bats and chickens and mountain lions and lizards and pretty much everything you can possibly think of right now. Rattlesnakes even already had issues with that already. It's been crazy. Yeah, going from city life to country living has been a transition throughout all the days and stuff going on. But yeah, they're just going crazy right now. They're trying to get out. So trying to hurry up and finish the chicken coop so we can get them out of here.
When was this? Because you've been in Oakland for a long time, and with all I don't know. When did you make this move?
We just recently moved about maybe a month and a half ago, almost 2 months now. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, trying to figure out something to do, and just how crazy things are getting, and just like just everything going on. And it felt like it was the right thing too to be more close with my family and kind of just be there for them too as they're getting up there. We're all trying to just stay healthy and stay motivated. So yeah, kind of like the best decision and choice to do, and like focus on kind of like the next like chapter in our lives. I feel like I'm on like chapter 3 right now. I'm like trying to keep it going.
What was one and two?
So I figure like the first 10 years, your life, that's the first chapter. From 10 to 20, that's chapter 2, and then 2 into your 30s. So yeah, going on to that, like kind of focusing on being able to like leave the torch and like kind of get the next generation going. Like that's like the ultimate goal. Like that's another reason why I like starting the school and stuff. So yeah, the next thing is to try to like make a space that people can come and like train and skate and film and get out of the city for a minute. So that's kind of what my big picture is for this. So yeah,
like you're gonna make a skate park or something? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's the goal, man. Try to start something I can get going to where it will start chaining off and be able to do that in other places. That'd be great. Definitely going out to Africa really inspired a lot of that too. Like just you gotta, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you've done so much, and regarding with like rollerblading, you've been on this long, over 1,000-day skating every day thing. You've just done a book. You've gone to Africa recently. You have a skate school. All these things. I want to get into all these things, and because I'm really fascinated about this, but I'm also fascinated about your introduction into skating, because this is kind of like, I like to think of it whereas a lot of the people, we all know you, but what if the time comes with the skater, who's just like learning who you are. So like, what I know you had in the past, like you started skateboarding, right? Like you were skateboarding first. You were in Texas, and then how did you become introduced to rollerblading?
Okay, man, we're taking it back. Okay.
We're going there.
So, well, first actually, before we even started skateboarding, I was like playing like street hockey and stuff. Got some mission skates and like trying to, getting crazy with the hockey at first, and then it was like, the Tony Hawk game was coming out, and like I had a friend that had got a skateboard, and then Connections, Loretta, Lonnie's, if you ever seen Feet, check out Feet. His mother owned a skate shop called Connections, and also owned a skate park that was called Red Branch. And like, I don't know, it just all kind of like fell into play, and I started skateboarding, and the next thing I know, she was helping sponsor and like going to different skate comps and stuff, and then and then getting sponsored by skateboarding, and yeah, it was like that was at first like the initial call and trying to get things going, but then as far as the transition from it going from skateboarding to blading, or skateboarding to blading, there was a couple kids at school that were blading, and like I was cool with everybody at school, and this is all in Texas, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Double R, what's up, Brown Elk, everybody out there, awesome. LST, you already know. But yeah, it's trying to get that transition from skateboarding to blading. I was cool with a lot of people that were in the blading. Like I was cool with like Shannon Rogers and like Jason Howard and like Jay Gurink and like all these and
staples, Texas staples,
bro, and like didn't even know it. You know what I mean? Like I know these people, but like I didn't know who they were like at the time. Probably like 13 or something like that. Yeah,
did you know them from the skate shop? Like how would you know them otherwise?
At the skate park. And I would always be like, everyone have that thing where they stay on their own, side of the park or whatever. But I was always just like, always cool with everybody, So, and then just one day I just was just kind of like, I don't know. I just wanted to do something else. And I had mentioned it the next time I went to the skate shop, and Loretta was in there, Bonnie's mom. And she just like, I was like, I'm thinking about trying skating. And she like lit up, like, she like went to the back, came out with these skates, and the skates that they were, oh man, it was crazy. Cause I had like just kind of like tampered in, like was finding out about like, KFC and like Steal This Video, like Jason Howard, all that stuff. And then like Black Fabric was coming out and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So then once I figured out like, all these little things were going on, the skates that Loretta gave me were the same skates that Alex had in KFC 2, I think, or KFC 1. Yeah, the gray Stelios with the X's on the back. Those are Stelios. Yeah, like the TRSs back in the day.
Yeah.
They didn't even fit. They didn't even fit, but I put them on. I didn't care. I was like, geez, I was hyped. So I was trying to like do good in school and do everything, like just do right, because I was trying to get some skates, like that was like Christmas was coming up. I had just started skating around like Halloween time, and this is like 2014. Yeah,
2014 or
2007. I mean,
2007
or 2004, like 2004. Excuse me, 2000. Yeah, like
I think you've skated every day since 2014, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, feel like it.
Yeah, but 2004.
And I haven't really like even like talked about this stuff a long time like that being that long ago. Just even thinking about it too is crazy. But like starting back then, and then then Connections kind of like that was a thing, and meeting like Rob Guerrero and like Matt Moya and all those guys, and this guy named Jerry.
Yeah, that makes sense. That kind of crew,
right, bro? They were going ham, and then meeting all the people from like all over Texas, because then like once I went to my first like skate comp and stuff, that was it. That was it. And I think that's like a real big thing, and I hope it still keeps going throughout the whole pandemics and stuff. Like having something that people can go to like that, because that really changes the game for a lot of people. There might be that one person that showed up there, and that's like their next goal, like that's their future, their journey starts with that, so that changed the whole game. Going to the first skate comp, I think it was in San Antonio. I think it was San Antonio comp.
I'm kind of surprised to hear that, because you're not a big competition guy, so like to see that a contest did that to you.
I was never like super all about it, but I was always there. I'd skate in them and stuff and do go in there, get my little tricks in there, whatever. But like, you know, and then I started doing my own competition in Texas too. I started doing the Texas droughts, and that was like one thing that I started when I was there. And then, yeah, I don't know. Just I always just felt like there was something that like needed, and I feel like that was something I was missing with, I don't know, with the skateboarding stuff. I just didn't. There was just something that like gravitated me towards like being on skates, like the I don't know, the intimacy of that is just so, I don't know, it's unique. You can't just do that with a lot of things. So, you know, it felt like it was all you. You know, it was just, I don't know, like some Super Saiyan shit. Like if you're thinking about if you're thinking about like Dragon Ball Z or something, you know. So
Totally.
and I love skateboarding too, doing it all. So it was cool.
Yeah, no, you look good on a skateboard too. And yeah, as long as I've known you, I think as long as anyone has known you, I've always known you to be that like super positive guy, like really great energy, just like always keeping that good energy. So I could see how like you'd be attracted to that.
Thanks.
I don't mean to skip. You know, we've been through a lot. We work together. We've been through all these things, and there's so much we could talk about. But
everything,
man, so much. But I think would actually be cool because a lot of people have just recently seen the documentary The Streets of Lagos, and Dom West, his work is always nothing but impeccable. And when I saw that you were going out on to Africa with doing a project with Dom West, I was like, oh my, that's going to be so incredible. And I saw it, and it was really, we talked to Todd about it on the podcast a bit about just people falling in love with blading before finding the culture. And I was just wondering, like, you know, there's so much to get into, but I was wondering what like your first impression with that was, and going into it, like what you expected, and if it met or exceeded expectations, or if it was even close or anything like that, because that's must be such a unique experience.
I mean, if we were really talking about this, we'd be talking about this for a long time because there's so much to
I don't mind that.
from that, like that experience. And I think like every human being on this earth needs to experience that or something similar to that, whether it's something that's attached to your specific culture or if it's something that you're curious about. I think it was very impactful to me to go to somewhere and like look around and see everyone just look just like, you know, just be completely indulged in that and like and see like how it's nothing like what you hear and what people say. Like it's always going to be different from when you actually, you know, go and do it. So like I think that was one big reality check right away. It was just like, you know, it's nothing what anyone ever can imagine saying like, oh, you know, Africa. Or like,
in what way though? Like it's nothing like
you know, in America, you know, they'll have a very specific, you know, ideology of Africa, right? It'd be like it's this, this, and this, and you're gonna see this, this, and this, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like it's a poor country and
or just
it's dangerous, things like that.
Just the things that like, you know, and you do see everything like that. I mean, you see that around the world, no matter where you are. But like, there's so much beautiful and so much beauty and life that you can't really describe into words until you physically like do that. And like, it was just impactful just to even like be involved in that and be able to just, you know, I went by myself. You know, that was the first time I even met Dom in person. That was the first time I met Dan in person. But I had talked to Dan for like over a year before all this stuff was going on, you know. And then Caleb Smith went out there, and that one was kind of like, oh, like all that was going on at the same time. We were like trying to figure out like what could we do to like get things like going and like get people to see what was happening there, you know. So the experience, like, you know, you have to be very strong. That is not for the faint heart. I know a lot of people say that have to like that like took prep. Like if you don't like prepare to go, or like you know you're not like mentally prepared to go and like physically prepared to go, yeah, like you gotta be strong. That is a strong place. Like you like to just jump into that, like it's like a current. You know?
How long were you there? Just
we're there for a week, you know, and it was like a week of traveling just to get there. It was crazy, but like it was so much in a short amount of time. Like it was something that would last forever. Like, you know, I feel like the same vibe, the same way. Like, you know, you appreciate things a lot more, a lot differently, and you see the value in a lot of things. Like, I think I feel more at peace, like when I find something to skate and I like make it. You know, it just means so much more, like finding something and just like, oh, it's a perfect rail. Or like, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, like finding something I can like put a little effort and creativity into make, because that's like the reality of it. You know, we get really just, I don't know, sidetracked and not sidetracked, but just like, you know, we don't always get to go more in depth and in tune with that feeling of like, you know, what's it like to not have this? What's it like to not like get wheels, and how to not have skates, and not, you know, get sent to jail or worse, something happened because you skate in a spot that you're not supposed to skate, or like or just all these different things that like happen, and we sometimes that if we're not able to see that and be able to experience that, you know, we kind of take that for granted. And it was great to kind of see things in a different perspective, like how blessed and how fortunate and how just appreciative we are of things of that nature. You know what I mean? So it just made more sense to be able to see that and be able to get, you know, everyone that was there, you know, especially Dan, be able to see something like he's doing and see how impactful it is, and how much that what you're doing is dope, whether if it's a Kurt or if it's like a metal pole that you found at the street in the grass, like you're making that effort to skate. And I think that's where it starts. And because everything else is after that, you know, you got to always remember where you start at. Sometimes I feel like sometimes we'll get to a point, or you're just doing so well or whatever you're doing, that we don't ever look back and see like, okay, this is how it started. Like I remember not being able to, you know, jump on this rail. I remember not being able to roar out and get my foot all the way to touch the ground, you know? So, you know, it's been definitely something that I will always hold dear, and be able to like, you know, share that with my family, and, you know, represent for that country, you know, out here. You know?
There were some rippers in that crew too. I was like a bit shocked to see like the
Daniel, those guys, like everybody, and you got Jay Morris, you got so many people in the Ghost Catch. Black, you got Black, CJ Black, you got Enigma. Enigma's another one that's really sick too. There's so many good people, you know, like so many good people. And for them to have a way to express that is like, that's it. Just getting the attention there to see like what's possible. Now it's up to them to build that legacy brick by brick, and realize that it's not going to happen overnight. You know what I mean? Look at us. It took forever, you know, look how long it took, and you guys are being able to do a podcast, you know, like thinking about where that started, you know, same thing. So it's kind of like you just keep laying those bricks down and keep putting that effort in, you know. So and it's been amazing ever since we, you know, finished the project and up until now, and all that's happened. And since that time has been so much. They've been filming and just killing it. So big shout out to the Shinobi Blade Clan out there. That's like,
what is it called? The Shinobi Blade Clan?
Shinobi Blading Clan. Yeah,
Shinobi. That is so sick.
Yeah, it is. It was super sick. And when I heard that too, I was hyped on it.
Yo, we've been talking about all these ideas and stuff for a while, and like, you know, Dan has a really good head on his head. Like he knows what like he's smart. He knows what's going on, and how to make things. You know,
no, I'm sorry. Dan is the.
Huh?
Dan is which one?
Dan is the main. He's the main guy. He's the tall guy.
Yep. Okay, I've seen the tall. That's the main guy. Gotcha.
He's the Michael Jordan out there. He's like the Eisenberg. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Gotcha.
He sparked the torch, and well, there's other people too that have like helped start it, but like he's been the main like person really like trying to get it out there and getting other people involved, you know, and taking, you know, it's hard, you know, it's hard. Like skating is kind of like a luxury, you know what I mean? Like every day hustling, trying to make ends meet. And then for you to go skate and know that the skating is not necessarily making those ends meet like that, unless you're doing it in a way that it is, you know, where they're skating to pass out flyers and whatnot. So it's like, there's a way to like kind of have that appreciation about it too. Like they're taking something and like trying to make it solidify it, make it solid.
Make it real.
Nigeria,
Yeah.
you know, like Legos, like this is skating here. Like this isn't going nowhere. Watch us grow. You know what I'm saying? Like we are here, you know, and they're not going nowhere. You know, that's something that's gonna be around for a while. So I'm excited to see them. And when I'm you know in my 50s chilling, listening to some blues music, rocking on a rocking chair, you know, we were talking about that, like
Oh yeah.
all the legacy happening.
Oh yeah.
That's the vision, you know.
How in tune are they with like the modern culture of skating? Are they watching all like the new videos, the new sections that come out, everything? They follow everything like that?
Yes, of course, and studying it and watching and very in tune with what is going on and what's cool and so, you know, just pay attention to that. You know, we're watching a culture starting to find itself into this microculture that we have. You know, like America and all these other countries that are well known, like Europe has a lot of skaters. We know Australia has skaters. We know China has skaters. We know all these places. But some places we're still missing out, and it's our job. We got to get tapped into those places so we can start getting it out and helping everybody. I mean, look at like everything that's been happening so far. I mean, everyone's been pitching in and helping getting product and stuff out to those guys in Nigeria. You know, they started a GoFundMe to get some stuff that the guys over at Sketch Magazine helped put together stuff. So, excuse me. It's been like I don't know. It's been like I don't know. It's been great to see how supportive the community has been. Like unbelievable how supportive it's been. And just for everything else, there's been so much stuff going on. Like even with Fritz, like when homie Fritz hit his head at the powwow thing, and like, you know, people reached out for that. And that was another reason why too I started wearing a helmet. You know, like realizing too, like there's so many more things that we you know, don't take for granted. And I think in Africa really just put things in perspective, like what was really important, like water and just food and just like everything. So I don't know, it was a great learning experience, and I was just so grateful and blessed to be able to come and stay out there and help be a part of that. But
yeah, I was gonna ask about that bit, because like whenever like, you know, Africa, I would imagine it would be that much more. But like, you know, whenever I've traveled to a place like, you know, has different economic standings, like, you know, in South America or whether it be Eastern Europe or whatever, you come back with a new appreciation for the things that you take for granted. What was it like, you know, like what was it like the food, like the sleeping situation, like the they're like not even the skating part, like, but how they reacted to you, like how was that whole experience of the trip?
Well, that part too was a whole thing too, you know, you know, not everything was close by. So we had to either sketch, take a KK, and take the van to try to get to the nearest place. So like traveling was a big deal, especially with equipment and like, you know, if you are predominantly not, you know, ethnicity of that nature, right? If you are like coming out there different, it was kind of like, you know, we stood out, you know what I mean? Like we stood out for a minute. So it was kind of like everything that we were doing, we had to be very like, you know, pulled out the cameras and stuff. And so trying to make it home before it was too dark or like too late was a big thing too, because that was like when things started, you know.
Yeah, like you were talking about like the difference in like the skate culture, but was it like I'm sure like a big culture shock, like going there, like where were you guys staying, like
yeah,
and the food, what were you guys eating, like how were you received by not only the skate community but like the people of, you know, the city and the country, you know?
I mean, from everything from just landing at the airport straight there, you know, you instantly feel the energy. It's kind of like New York. Like, I don't know if, you know, when you fly into New York, you just kind of feel like, you know, the fast pace, like everyone's trying to get hustle and bustle. So
Yeah.
um, that was one thing for sure. And then the food too, like there was so much good different food that we had, you know, never even tried before. There was this particular sauce that Dan's mom would make that was like this like hot sauce that was good on everything. I'm talking chicken, spaghetti, fish. I'm talking on everything. It was that was probably one of the best things. And just, you know, going around different places, we were trying to like not have to spend a lot. So we were trying, you know, working with what we had, because like just getting out there was crazy. So like we were trying to just be as smooth about it as possible, and eating a lot too at home and having home cooked meals from his mother, which was awesome. That was like the best thing. It was like knowing after a long day skating when we got back that, you know, mama had some food ready for us and making sure that we were fed and ready to go.
So
And for us to be able,
you got some home cooked, like a lot of like the home cooked,
yeah,
like
that was like probably 98% of the time we would eat at home. We
Damn,
would
what a
go
pull.
all day and like it dug it out. Like I'm talking, because you know it's close to the equator, so it's like a different kind of hot. Like I've been, you know, Texas, and now I'm out like way out here, and it's hot too. But like I'm talking, like as soon as you drink water, it's like evaporating from your body. Like you're just constantly drinking the hydration tablets, water, and like just trying to stay hydrated as possible. That was a big deal for sure. And I think too, you know, with like how things were, you know, like malaria is one thing that they always worried about, you know, the mosquitoes and stuff like that. But everything was cool. Like didn't have any problems with that. No one got sick. Like everyone was just, it was as great as it could have been, you know. So and sleeping was cool. We made it work in his house. You know, his parents were letting us stay there, so that was really cool. Being able to, you know, we weren't worried about trying to go and get some like hotel and all this other stuff. We were just trying to like really live Dan's life, like from when he woke up to going to sleep, and like really seeing what it was like. And that really changed a lot, because like you really get a perspective of someone when you are that close, right? When you get to see someone, how they treat, you know, just other people, how they negotiate. You know, there was times when we had to like negotiate out of situations so we could skate a spot. Like it was very interesting, like going to different places and realizing like this is a different area, so we have to be like this in this area, be very cool. Like you got to go in this area, you got to be very cool like this. Like don't do this, don't like. So you have to be very very aware of like what you know, your surroundings, you know, just like that in anywhere. But the skate community there is thriving. They have so many different elements to what they have going on, and they're trying to like be, you know, represented by the whole country. So like they have these organizations that are like kind of like schools, but they're mostly for like track racing, like speed skate and like, you know, stuff like that. So the aggressive skate is kind of like the black sheep. So like the aggressive skate is kind of like, you know, you can get hurt, kind of like this whole thing, not understanding like what is he doing, jumping off the wall, you know. So having you know, to see that and see how pure and just organic how skating looks to someone who does not understand what it is was very very just an eye opener too, like for people that of that nature, so many people too. We're talking like, you know, that's the most people I've ever been around in my life. You think New York has a lot of people? It's like it is a lot. It's 10 times that. Like as far as like how many people, right? So I think what Dan is doing right now and getting all this like up in the air and people realizing what's going on, and it's gonna really bring a whole another element and something to the table for this whole country. And yeah, just seeing like, you know, from, you know, waking up to going through a whole day just to go skate one spot or something could take it was real. And I just commend him and everybody that's out there that's like making it work. You know what I mean? Like skating from one place to another without roads that actually are roads and that are all messed up and yeah, sketching. I mean, if you seen the documentary, some of those sketching scenes were so real.
It looks
like,
sketchy
real.
sketching there
so
compared to like New York. Yo, it's not the
so
same.
real.
But the
Yeah, man.
fakey sketch, like in some of those
And some of
streets.
yeah, bro, like some of the like setups that people have, like you would not last out there. You have to have a certain kind of setup to like really get by, at least to A to B.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
that was just another appreciation of that too.
yeah, I was gonna ask, what, like, I'm sure you asked them about that too. Like, what does it take for these guys to get skates? And because most of them don't even have aggressive skates. I saw Danny had them's, and someone else had a pair of Salmons, but for the most part, they're all riding rec blades. Like, what does it take? What did you learn that it takes for them to get skates, and what can we do to get aggressive skates out there so these kids could, you know, have something official to skate on?
Well, man, for sure, money, for sure. You know, you got to think too. A lot of these places, it's like either if you're getting some skates given to you, or you are trying to figure out a way to make ends meet to buy skates. You know, so and I think too, a lot of the culture there, they had never even seen those kind of skates. So I think a lot of it too is just getting that exposure out and showing like there is these options. Like it's cool to have these rec skates, do your thing. It's cool to have these aggressive skates, do your thing. You can mix and match and get it like that too. But having those options and be able to see like, okay, well, if I really want to go fast, I want to have this setup. Maybe I have these big wheels on here and these frames. Like learning just all these little basic mechanics of just the skate, I think too. You know, and then there was a place there that had a skate shop that was at the stadium, and that was like their main dojo. You know, I always call places that we'd skate at and train, or what you're doing is your dojo. So that was like their main spot. But now they have a new spot that's really sick that kind of opened up, embraced them for just skating outside. Like, so they have a whole new place that they can, you know, train at. But the other place that had the actual skate shop, you know, there's been so much potential that can happen with that too. You know, it's just understanding what the value is. Like, you know, if you're not immediately making that money to make them easy, but you're trying to like help and get kids to skate or like get out. I mean, that's kind of what needs to happen. It's just more of the revolution coming and everyone evolving to seeing like aggressive skating. This kind of skating can also lead to so much more things. This could lead to you traveling the world. This could lead you to a sponsorship. This could lead you to meeting someone that is your best friend or anything, you know what I mean? So I think the more that they see that and the more that it gets put out there that there are people there that are ready to do it. So a lot of these brands and a lot of these companies and big organizations, like that's a place that they can target and start marketing. So yeah, I don't know. It just needs to get out there. People just need to see it. And I think too, as a culture for them too, it's just like having people like Dan be you know, the forefront and be the one that's showing them and showcasing the possibilities. Like he's gone to different towns there and winning contests, you know? So it's like, yeah, I can't wait to see what it's going to be like in the next, like, you know, 5-10 years from now, like just all what's going to happen. You know, there's definitely the scene out there. And I think, you know, we can't sleep on that because that's how the future grows. That's how we keep going. That's how we're going to be able to skate tomorrow. That's how we're going to skate in 10 years. That's how we're going to keep things going, is kind of getting those places like caught up, you know? So yeah, it's crazy, man.
Absolutely, man. Wow, that's yeah, it's crazy to think because that scene seems to be fairly new, right? Like
I mean,
it.
yeah, I mean, as far like a scene, like you see clips, like there's also a homie out in Ghana too. There's a crazy amazing guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the talent is there. Now just imagine if you know them themselves to build the foundation there. You know what I mean? Like having their companies too, like having a Nigerian wheel company, like having a Nigerian boot or anything else, having other people come out there, but having some kind of structure there too for them to build on too is it's happening. That's just like watching a new city being built. Like this is like a new skate hub, you know, to add to the big blading family, you know, all around the world. It's crazy. Yeah,
It's incredible. Yeah, like when I think about like things that are going to help our culture grow and just what makes it rich, it's just having like all these places around the world and these like independent scenes that are like operating uh, in their own space and just somehow still interconnected through this like network that we have here. So it was really cool to see that. I think a lot of people were really every person I showed it to thought that was amazing. So that was really
and starting because that was
no,
like the whole thing, like trying to like not you know, trying to focus on something that's not necessarily, you know, just the skate, like, just skate, just clips, you know what I mean? Having something that's like showcase something to people to see why these people are so passionate about skating. Like, and this is like all over, you know, it's not just one place, but it's everywhere. Like, you know, like why'd you start skating? You know what I mean? Like why is Austin? Why are whoever's watching this right now, why are we tuned into this? You know what I mean? So there's one thing that we all have in common has got us to this point. So, you know, it's just limitless, you know, from here. Like it really is. You got to figure out what you want to stand up for and what you want to put that effort and that energy and that positive energy and see what you want to do. And I'm just super grateful. Like just man, like it was crazy watching, you know, like watching the film after it happened and seeing like, you know, how that 2 weeks put down to that to even, you know, just a taste of what it was really like, you know. So just again, big shout out to Dom too, man. Like Dom, Dom's a G, man. That was like the first time meeting him and being able to like remember this experience for the first time. Like every time we see each other now, from now on, it'll be like, you know, that's his brother for life for sure. Like same thing with
you guys
Dan.
shared that amazing experience.
Yeah, man. We thugged it out for real. It was something that we, you know, would have never expected would have happened. Like would have like such a random occasion for all of us all to come together and do that, you know, and you know now it's out there, you can see it. So yeah, I'm excited. Super excited.
Yeah, that was I think I speak for everyone. I say like that was just incredible. To one of your points you were saying there about just like getting things out there, I think would be a good place to segue to you know, what you've been doing with Braille. And I guess you can get into maybe some of the controversy that occurred thereafter with some of the feedback. But so that was like one of the first times, like that's a huge skateboard website company, right? They have a huge thing. And so you guys, you know, you as a blader, like historically, skateboarding has not been particularly friendly to blading, but you became friendly with these guys and a lot of the guys in the Bay Area. And so yeah, you filmed a video with them. We got, you know, I think over 1 million views and still growing. And then you continue to do things with them, and they're extremely supportive of you and seem to be really friendly guys. But so I was curious, like, well, for one, we could start with, you know, how did you meet these guys, and how did you get into that? And I'm just curious about that all because it's very interesting.
Well, man, this is like the perfect example of like life kind of doing its thing. We were at a skate event at this local skate park down in I think it was like Hayward maybe. We're at some skate park, and we're at this like little event that our homies put together, playing like a game of skate battle, and like everyone came up, barbecue and all that. And these dudes pulled up with a kayak with some trucks on the back of it, and like we're pulling the kayak in the skate park and like doing all this crazy, you know, just doing all this stuff. And some people knew who it was, like, oh, this is guys from Braille, and actually, one of the homies came over and introduced us, and I met one of the filmers, and they're like, hey, you guys should like link up. Shout out to Dion Dreddy, the boy's sick. We linked us up, and you know, we just kind of stayed in contact. It was like, yo, like if you guys are ever doing something, like, you know, let's do something. And they're like, yeah, super down. So that went on for like a few months, went on for a few months, like back and forth ideas and stuff. And ended up like coming up with like a list of stuff that was like right in the realm of like things that they would be interested in trying to do. And one of the main ones was I was trying to get the skate shop Intuition to come out so we can showcase how we have a skate shop, like having somewhere where you can get skates. So as everything was going on, this is probably like 6 months, probably since then, right? 6 months or so. And a good friend at Rob Skate Academy, he's a skateboarder that's in Oakland. He started his own skate academy of skateboarding, and he's been like killing it for forever. Like he's like a legend too, like up there with K-Dub, another Oakland native. And he put on these events, and we started doing them at First Fridays, and that's like an event that they do. They block down the street in downtown Oakland, and they bring out all these vendors and paint and food, just all this cool stuff in Oakland. And they blocked the streets off, and one of the streets that they had was like a little ramp set up and with some boxes and stuff to skate. So he invited me out one day to come and skate it, and I was like sick, but I was like, I'm going to be the only person skating it. I was like, oh, I'm going to just skate, basically like just skate the whole thing by myself. I want to have some more skaters. So I hit up a few people, and some people got to show up. I think Phil was the first one that only showed up on the first time that we did it. And on that show like that they had, because they basically turned it into a show. They like set the ramp up and like had like jumping over stuff. And
did you guys know you were going into a show or
no? Did not know. Yeah. But I knew that we were gonna be skating like just in front of people, but not like, all right, here's the rule book, like straight up show style. But it ended up working out. So we were doing that, and it worked out. One of the guys that was on Braille was there at the show, and was just like blown away. It was like just super hype. He was like, "Yo, we have to get you on the show like ASAP. Like, let's do this like ASAP." So man, big shout out to Nigel Jones. He was the one that just basically kind of like sped up the process of like everyone like trying to like get something done, because they had like so many things going on. So we set up a time and meeting to kind of talk about like what we wanted to do, and I was telling him like, this is my idea. I wanted to like kind of bring Intuition, the skate shop down in Bakersfield, to come out and like bring some skates and like kind of like just showcase what skating looked like in 2019, So we did that, and then had Damon Franklin come out, and that was like another great, like just having someone else too to come. Like I didn't want it to look like, it was just like it's just one person out here skating in the world. No, they need to show like there's a lot of us, you know what I mean? So and this is just the tip of the iceberg, you know what I mean? Like there's just so much depth to our culture that people are just sleeping on and just not seeing right now. So for us to be able to kind of tap into that and be able to get, them to be curious and like try skates on, of course, it's a YouTube channel. So they're, it's
entertainment.
Yeah.
Entertainment.
It turned into, just going to do that to the biggest thing that they have there, and like, turning into that. And the response to it all was just amazing. Even them, they were just all blown away because they didn't realize how good and like just, or not good, but just, they just didn't realize how skating
the culture. The culture has
they just didn't see that. And I think too, it was a reality check too, just to realize how many people in the rest of the world haven't really seen skating like that. And like, just like how, we don't really have an identity, so, and, for those that put out, the best skate in the world and stuff and all that, like, I've never even kind of claimed any of that stuff. So it's just like for them to put things out to get it out there and that nature, that's the goal of getting everybody just to kind of get to see it. So I was just grateful for, being able to get that opportunity to do that. I didn't necessarily know that it was going to be so, blow up like it did, the good and the bad stuff, from people that were feeling it and people that weren't feeling it, and then people that were in the industry too and that weren't feeling it. But it also too was great because I was so grateful too to be able to see those perspectives, you know. So I'd rather know where someone's head's at than, you know, being, you know, fake or phony to someone about it. Rather you tell me straight up, you know, how you feel about it, you know.
Yeah.
But in the reality, at the end of the day, shredding is shredding. Like, doesn't matter what object you're doing. The object does not make the person. It's the person. You know what I mean? So if you're this bummy crummy person and you're just on skates and you're a crummy bummy person, then that's a part. That's the skates aren't gonna just magically make you, you know. You know what I mean? That's you. You know what I mean? That's a responsibility. I feel like a lot of people don't label each other by the objects. You know what I'm saying? So it's always the person at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So
and is that on their end, is that respect, do you feel mutual, like in both ways? Like that,
well,
for like the object, like, you know, blades and skateboard, whatever, you shred.
yeah, everybody.
So
bro, if you see someone at the skate park,
it's
right?
all love at that crew, both ways.
Yeah, for sure. If you
That's
see
awesome.
someone at the skate park that's on a scooter, right? This is a true story. This actually happened. This dude on the scooter, right? I didn't even like I'm skating the spot, going up the rail, right? Skate up the rail, go up the rail, done. Dude on the scooter comes behind me, does the same thing up the rail. It's like a 7-stair or something, right? Like decent rail to go up, and I just was mind blown. So I just did not expect the kid to go up the rail on the scooter, and I was just like, just, you know, clapping, just, you know, like shredding is shredding. Like, it shouldn't matter what the object is. Like, if I seen a clip with someone the other day. They were on like a what is that? What's the bike with the one wheel on the unicycle, right?
Unicycle. Oh yeah, on the King Trail.
Yeah, come on now. I ain't gonna do
Crazy.
it, but that was tight that he did it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the attitude. Like, why would I hate on him because he's doing that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
come on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
That feels like old.
may not be my thing, but that's his thing, and he did that,
Yeah.
and I respect that effort, respect that grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna knock anybody's passion for nothing unless it's like something towards negative stuff. You know what I mean? So don't knock on someone's shredding. Just do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad, like, some people, you know, they have to come around to see that sometimes, you know. So it's maturity, I feel like, too. A lot of times, a lot of it's just like people are still growing up, people are still growing. So yeah, all we can do is lead by example. You feel me? So that's like the basis of it. And you know, I did a thing out with them just this weekend on it's Tuesday. On Saturday, did shot with them some stuff down there, because the book, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the book, Jimmi Skates.
Yeah, the guy who did the illustration for me has been a good friend. He helped me do the graphics for the Oakland Blade Jam, like when I first moved to Oakland, when I first moved back to Oakland. And he's an artist, but he just so happens to skateboard for fun. Like, he skates, you know what I mean? And like, for him, skateboarding and me blading, like, for those two worlds, like, oh, you can't, you know, this is proof that cultures can mash and do cool things and make stuff. So it doesn't matter about, you know, the objects. So that was one thing I wanted to go down there and showcase. And I invited no one to come down to the Braille house, and we got to basically get a little session. And that was the first time he got to skate there. And like, just, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Be able to kind of like showcase everything coming together, you know, for something that's positive. That's something that's moving forward. You know what I mean? So that's been something that was just organic. You know, this guy's been helping, like, been around since I first was out there. You know, it's been like 10 years, you know. So to think how far back that goes till now, and see like how your relationships with people, they really can manifest into so many different things. So, you know, don't ever short yourself. Like, that's like the bottom. Like, there's always something to it. You know what I mean? Like, you can always find a way to make something work out, but you got to have that kind of like that spark. You got to be that, like, that driving force. You got to be like like showing what's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like that's been like a huge message. It's like it's possible. Everything, all these things that you do. You know, even skating every day. All this stuff. Like, you know, I try not to think about any of the numbers and days and stuff like that. Just kind of just stay present with each day at a time because every day is different. You know, so yeah, super grateful to be able to transition between both worlds. You know, and try to showcase that there's people out here that are doing it, and you know it's not going to be because you skateboard, because you blade. Oh my god, you know, it's 2020. You know, maybe about to have flying cars and stuff in no time. You know, like
Yeah.
worrying about, you know, there's so much going on, especially with like, you know, the civil rights stuff, like in like the Black Lives Matter stuff and like the Breonna Taylor stuff and George Floyd and just all these things have been happening for so long. There's so much like dividing this between all of us. Like this is something that's been like, I don't know. This is one thing our culture brings everybody together for one thing. It shouldn't matter like all these, you know, it's really crazy to like see how ignorant or just waste of time that we spend on things that really don't matter, you know? So that's like, I'd rather put all that energy towards something that you could, you know, pass on or put into a project or film a documentary or, you know, yeah, it's crazy, man.
Do something positive.
Yeah, man. And especially like being out, like when I was living in Oakland, you know, and being where all that was always happening all the time, you know, especially with the, you know, the Black Lives Matters, you know, movement going on. It definitely got crazier as the weeks and stuff were going, and just like it sucks to see that stuff in our own microcultures too. But that's where it has to change. If the microcultures don't change and don't switch up stuff, like there should be a lot more companies that have more ethnicities and stuff and doing it. Like there's not a lot of books that have, you know, different characters looking like, you know, so it's like it's a lot of things that we are like slowly starting to integrate and change and just showcase that, like, you know, you can't just call somebody this or that. They may not want to be called that. So you have to call them by, you know, the pronunciation of what they want to call themselves, you know. So I think we live in such a time right now where everyone is very conscious about, you know, just what's going on, you know what I mean? And it's going to take time. Like, you know, nothing's going to happen overnight, but these are the steps that you do that. You know, brands take steps to promote more ethnicity. That's how you make the movement change. You can't just say it.
You do something about it.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's a lot of places and businesses and all kinds of that use it as a capital, you know. So taking advantage of being able to like do these things that actually create ways for those changes to happen, you know, not just for just, you know, one specific person, but for everybody, you know what I mean? So we're trying to get this going, you know. Like,
I love that, man.
No, this is.
It is. I don't mean to interrupt you, but and you're saying some amazing stuff right there, and I think it's great that we're touching on these important subjects.
Yeah.
But was you know,
hard. It's hard.
Sure. Yeah, man, I can. Yeah. But I mean, I can see that, you know, making books like this is going to help like create like a lot of that like diversity and, you know, in the world and stuff like that. So I know it seems like that was one of your motivating factors for doing that. But when I saw it come out, I was like, I didn't think Bfree
and my
was
daughter
writing a book. Like what was it that made you want to do it? Like I can see that was one of them, but what was the driving force behind that? Because I was just shocked when I saw you did a book.
Yeah, my daughter for sure was one. But even before that, like I always wanted to do something that was going to kind of set the tone for the next generation. Like the school was the first thing, and then there had to be something else that could be like kind of tangible. You know what I mean? And now that the times are changing, you know, not a lot of people are watching TV as much. Not a lot of people are reading an actual physical book. You know, so now you have to kind of really, you know, navigate and fine tune with what's culturally changing. So having the inspiration of trying to figure out a way that will showcase a demographic that showcases something that we don't see all the time, you know. So I'm hoping that in 30 years, there's going to be that one kid that their parents read this book to them. That's gonna do something else. That's gonna do something. That's gonna change the world or something. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of spark that has to happen for the future things to get to where we hope and dream and think about all the time. You know what I mean? I want to be able to, you know, look up and be like, yo, that's sick. This kid just got to go to school full scholarship because he got a skating in college. You know what I mean? Got
that'll
some.
be the day.
You know what I mean? Like got to go.
That'd be something.
The tuition to skate. You know what I mean? Like sponsors are doing more than just giving you the free gear to promote and then sell and make money, and then not telling you about the business. You're not learning about your per diems and your equity, and not knowing about things like that. So it's our job to kind of like help people figure out ways that they can make, if that's the direction they're trying to go, because there's so many directions with skating that just lead to so many things. You start skating, you heard this song, now you start playing in a band. Now you're skating, now you are an instructor, okay? Now you're skating, now you're sponsored, now you're winning contests or traveling the world. Now, there's so many angles and just possibilities. Like you start skating and you met your wife. Oh my God,
Absolutely.
So then that's it. That skating got you to that point, and that made you happy. So it just depends on that chase of that. So I'm always constantly trying to think that like 10 steps ahead kind of theory, like what's the next thing, like what is something that is not focused on right now that we need to try to focus that towards, but yeah, man.
There's a question in the chat, and I'm curious. We could touch on this real quick. Where can people get the book?
Oh, cool. Shout out to whoever asked that. The book is available on lulu.com, Lulu. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Barnes & Noble online. We're trying to get the physical copies in the store as well, but you can get everything online right now. You can also get it as an ebook for your tablet or iPhone or whatever tablet, Android. You can do that too. And then soon we're gonna do audio. That's the next channel. So and you can get on the website. And then I'm gonna do signed copies too. I'm gonna have some personal copies that I'm gonna do signed stuff. So
yeah, we need to get you a book signing for that.
I'm new to all this stuff. Like we self-published it, so it's kind of like it took a long time, and it was like like every book that you had to get, you had to buy the sample of it. So if the one page was wrong, you get the other one. So like constantly having to figure that out and dialing into being excited about it. And my daughter was pretty much like the test. Like if she liked it, then I was like, trying, so.
Well, tell us more about the book itself so that people know what they're buying. Is it like, from what you're saying, because I thought it was like a rollerblading book, I guess, but it's not a rollerblading book?
Well, my whole thing is that skating it's a part of you. It's like, it should be like water, right? It should be nonchalantly, like that's not like have to target it so much. Like it should be a part of the culture because it is. It's not like skating is, we don't know what rollerblades are, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm trying to make it into a way to where it's kind of like, it is a message of it, but it's still more things going on. There's more messages inside the book, trying to learn how to keep dreaming and just have that
life messages, deep life messages. I could see if you wrote that, it has to have some like deep positive message.
For sure, and having some kind of message that like you are your power. You know what I'm saying? You are what gets things started in the day. When you wake up, you should be very juiced that you woke up. Sometimes it's not always easy to do that. So finding out ways that you can figure out what that is, that best part of the day, whether it is waking up or going to sleep or seeing someone that you care about or reading a book with somebody. Like having those times and those moments is super key. But I think this particular start, I have so many things coming that I'm trying to start with this. So that's like, you know, the basis of trying to get just the feet planted with it, you know. It was definitely a learning experience for sure. Learning how to just the process of making a book. I have so much respect for anyone that's ever done that. So, you know, it's crazy. It's like you see, you know, if you ever work construction and you see the construction worker out there doing that work, you're like, oh yeah, I feel that. And they're on that.
So you think you're gonna do a couple more books, or it's the first of many?
Yeah, man, I want to
Forget
basically.
Dr. Seuss. It's Dr. Juice.
Yeah. Basically,
Right?
like have something where it's a character that people are be able to relate to, and the situations that are going on too. You know, I think COVID really changed the game. You know, I mean, it completely changed the game for me, and I'm sure it changed the game for you and for everyone that's watching this. So you really have to kind of figure out what you know, not looking at anything as if it's a handicap. You know, trying to always figure out what's that one thing that I'm missing, or one angle that I'm not looking at or I'm not seeing. So sometimes you just gotta like sit back and wait for that patience, and it'll come. You know, so
Lulu.com. When Jimmi Skates, Jimmy with an I, right?
Yeah, with an I, J-I-N.
All right.
All right.
I have a bookmark so I could buy it when we're done with this podcast.
Yeah. Man, we're a bit into this. I want to open up for questions soon, but before that, I want to ask a couple, and I think Austin probably would like to ask something as well. But the skating for like how many days in a row now? I'm curious to know, because some people have done like 365, and that's been like a tremendous feat for whoever has done that. And then that's when most people stop, and that's already shocking to me. When people skate like 5 days in a row, that's shocking to me.
Yeah.
You've been on like this. Are we at 1,200? Are we like how high are we? And I'm curious what started it, and also the motivation to keep going, because it's incredible.
Okay. Well, just to be straightforward with it, you know, I want to do this until the whole world knows what a Royale is. You know, what a top sole is. You know, people don't really know that yet. So, but one
it's
thing
like a one-man hunger strike, but kind of like.
Just get it.
I love
you just
that.
see, like, whether you know it, like you're so like it's like for that person who has not seen skating before, when they're driving down the street and they look over and they see a rollerblader, it's not like they're like, oh, like they're starting to see that they see it more. You know what I mean? So you're seeing more skating, just more skating, more, whether it's a little bit of skating, you know, this much skating, or a whole bunch of skating. You know, it's you're just seeing it. You know. JC Rowe had came down to Oakland and was working on this mural, and like we like linked up, and like it was helping out with stuff, and we're just chilling, and like just got into all these, you know, I don't know if you've ever talked to JC before, but he's very like he's there, right? Like he's like 1,000 steps ahead. You know, he's there with just where he wanted to take what his passion was art, and like seeing where he went from you know, in his little studio to now, like what he's doing now, like he's doing just all kinds of crazy stuff. But back then, you know, we're talking 3 years ago, you know, and even then he was still doing stuff. But 3 years ago, you know, he just mentioned, he's like, you know, you should like think of something that you could like just constantly put out content. And I was just like, yeah, why not? Why, like, no one's like, there's people doing like, you know, like 30-day challenge. So that's why I was like, okay, maybe I'll start with like 30 days to see if I could do that. And then after like, you know, the 30 days and just like how I just felt good. It just felt good. It felt right. And it felt like, you know, it felt like this was something that was missing. You know, I wasn't going on to see like how far, like the cap, like I still don't have like, there's like a day I'm like, okay, I'm done. You know, I'm like, this is it. No more skating. But it just seeing just how, just what happens and see how it goes. You know, I'm just, that's always been it. Like I'm always kind of like been curious to see just where it's going to lead to. And from day one till now, day 1,187, you know, so many different things have changed, from all the crazy injuries, from working, from, you know, my daughter being just born, from my mother just getting, you know, getting the kid diagnosed with like cancer and stuff, and like just all this stuff that was going on like leading up to this, and then just family stuff, and just so it really changed like just I don't know the drive. And then I start realizing how much he was starting to also showcase like there's other people out there who just want to just skate, period. Like they don't have to necessarily do a trick or something hard, but just the simple fact of putting on your skates. You know what I mean? Like just putting on your skates. Like that's the bottom line. Like you being able to wake up today and be like, I skated today, you know, whether it was 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever it was that you did that. So like that constant motivation was like, if I was gonna walk it, I was gonna talk it, you know what I mean, and live it and breathe it, you know. So, and you know, it's been not easy. Anyone that's ever done a 30-day challenge will tell you, you know, or 365, you know, like
I skate 3 days in a row and I'm finished. That's it.
Bro,
Yeah, I want to know like your hardest challenge. What has been in the 1187 days? What has been like the toughest day? Because I find it, obviously you're doing it, but I find it near impossible to be able to skate every single day for that long. So I'm so curious what challenges or what has been the most challenging day that stands out to you.
Okay, well, a lot. I mean, the first one would probably be figuring out where to skate if I knew that there was no possible way. Like a day that you have to go to the airport. Like, okay, did you know, like hard to like figure out time. So me figuring out like, okay, I'll skate in the airport. You know what I mean? Like having those like thoughts like, okay, I'm not going to be able to, this is like not a normal situation. So how can I just, you know, figure out a way to be creative with it? Definitely the airport stuff has always been hard. I think the Africa one was the hardest. Figuring out the time difference was crazy, and like figuring out doing that was insane.
Doing all the maths.
Yeah, definitely Chicago the day after when I got back, because I went from you know from Africa to Chicago, and the temperatures were literally night and day. One was the hottest temperature in the world to be in the most coldest place ever. You know, I'm talking like brick blizzard, you know, so going from that day to that right in this that was rough.
That was your direct flight from Africa to
Chicago?
I
went straight to Chicago, and I stayed in Chicago. Shout out to GL Joe for helping
from Lagos to Chicago.
Yeah, straight up went straight there. No, like I didn't have no snow gear, bro. It was rough.
Did you skate in a t-shirt and shit? I don't remember that clip.
I almost was trying to skate some spots, but luckily Gio had a garage, so I ended up skating in his garage and making like thing out. So, but like figuring out ways to like just like also too like you never know what the day is gonna like end up. So I'm never expecting anything to happen. So I just kind of just like roll with the punches until I find something or something finds me. You know what I mean? So I kind of always try to stay in that present state. So the beginning of it was really hard to do that. You know, now it's like automatic, you know what I mean? Like I'm already thinking about skating tomorrow. You know, I'm already thinking about what I'm going to set up. Like, you know, even being here at my home now and, you know, I live, you know, almost an hour away from the nearest town. So it's like, I can't just get up and go and just skate when I want now. Now I'm having to adjust to seeing like when I do go skate, street or skate park or building something at home and staying that creative and figuring out different ways to, you know, take one box and how many different ways can you skate it? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But that was definitely one. I think the biggest injury and the biggest like craziest time was during the Filthy Fiesta. One of the years I did that and I got really, really hurt. Like definitely like to the point where I almost go to the hospital.
That was the long jump?
Yeah, on the first one, I think that was, or maybe it was the second one. But yeah, that was definitely the worst situation, and I still went skating the next day, and I actually ended up going to a Currency show too, I think, that night.
Damn.
I just kept going and skated the next day. It was rough, but you also too start realizing like, you know, you have to skate smart and blade smart. You know, we're not like spring chicken, you know what I mean? Like we, especially for us that are, you know, still blading in our 30s and up, you know what I mean? So you figure out ways to start skating in different elements, you know, and being really in tune with your body. And I think that's really important, like what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're intaking, you know what I'm saying? And being able to do that. And that it really paid off because I feel like the whole time doing that skating every day thing led up to me being able to do skating out in Africa, like being able to do that. You're skating, 12 miles, probably more a day, so it's like you really have to be like conditioning and to get to that stamina, right? So for anyone that's doing the 30-day challenges and just skating every day in general, and even if you're doing it not counting the days, it's about you just being comfortable being on your skates and having that passion. Don't lose that reason why you want to skate, because that's why a lot of times, for a lot of us older cats that are in the game, will get jaded. Some people get jaded about skating if something didn't work out or something like that. So we try to steer off that and keep skating because that's what you enjoy doing. Like there should be nothing separating between you and your skates. Don't let a name or a place or any of that stuff. It's got to be just you and your feelings doing it. So, I mean, you have to if you're going that long. You'll start figuring out more stuff about yourself when anyone that does that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's been a blessing for real.
You're the perfect role model for that. Just the nonstop, keep going, push through everything. You mentioned before how it's changed a little bit now that you live in the haystacks, wherever you are now from the city.
Yeah.
Like, how has that changed your skating? Because is there even a skate park by you? Like, how does this affect you?
Yeah, there's stuff. Thank God. Like, I mean, in California, I mean, there's a lot of skate parks. So in general, there's a skate park in probably the most random town. There's always, because it's been such a skate culture. Like, skateboarding is such a culture that people, it's everywhere. So for having skate parks, there are places to skate that are, they're just not as close as they would be, living in the city and all that. But, it's nice to be able to take that kind of just different challenge. This is just a different part of the challenge, and that's kind of what makes it what it is, and taking it like that and not getting to the point where I didn't do what I wanted to do today, or like, I didn't post this clip, it wasn't crazy, or like, I didn't post this clip, or like, so you start losing all that energy thinking about that stuff and just posting what's organic and what you're doing and making it like that. So skating the parks and skating like the street spots out here are definitely different. You really got to be creative.
Testing your creativity.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I'm at that point where I feel that I'm actually like, that's where I'm at right now. I feel like, and I just want to be able to kind of, look at architect is different. Someone will see that fence and there's a wall. The fence might be high enough to where you can jump over. You're like, okay, well, maybe you can jump over and maybe wall ride the wall over the fence, or you can, so you just really just have to like kind of figure out some things that you would probably not skate. Because there's been so many things that, when you're, especially if you're filming for something, if you're filming, you pass up spots that you're like, I'm not going to do that. Or, majority of the time, that's the only thing you got. So, I think I learned that the best is when I first started riding for Fiberlux and going out to Kansas City and seeing like every single spot that Alex skated, right? Like that was every spot, he lived there for so long. So every spot, he just went down a line with like, he just hit everything that was around. So seeing like how that happened and seeing like how, being able to not limit yourself, and then seeing like how in Africa not having those things and being able to make stuff. So it was like, you get all these different perspectives of just like where you are, and you can just start tapping into that and really, really just going in for real. Just start figuring out what makes you hyped about it,
Gotta keep it fresh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Bfree.
I know.
It's tough sometimes on the Zoom, like we're like with the cues. I apologize. There's we have a few questions from the crowd. Before that, I have one question for you. But before that, I wanted to once again remind everyone watching the show to please follow us on our social media platforms. You could go to Instagram, give us a follow. To Facebook, give us a like. Go on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we care about the interactions. If you want to share the video, comment on it, go to our iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, give us a review. We appreciate that very much. Thank you very much. And we also, if you want to go to our Patreon, we appreciate that as well. So you go to our Patreon. We are starting to have special offers for our Patreon guests. And as always, half of our super chats in this live go to our guests directly. And we have a ton of questions. And before that, I wanted to get into those questions, but I wanted to ask you, because I see in the top right corner of your screen, it says www.bfreeblading.org. And I wanted to ask you about that and what that was about.
Cool. Thank you for noticing that. I didn't even, that's a plug right there. Thank you, bro.
I mean, look at it.
Well, if you are interested in learning how to skate or kind of brush up on anything that you have been working on or just want to work on just mind state stuff, I have a academy called Bfree Blading Academy. You can check it out on this website, www.bfreeblading.org. There's some online videos and stuff too that can help you kind of get your skating journey started, and that's what this is about. So even though during the COVID stuff they had to change and do all these classes online, so you will basically, this is one of the areas that I do my classes in actually. So this is one place that I do start some of my classes. So you will look at this familiar background. This is something that you will see in a class. So yeah, check it out. We do half-hour classes, full-hour classes. You can do as many or as little as you like. And yeah, let's just get you blading. Let's go. Or quad skating, okay? Anything. On the wheels.
Anything. Let's go. Let's get you rolling.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
We got a bunch of questions lined up.
Yeah, go for it.
And I think I will start with, the first question is from Not Nation. Not Nation says,
like a knot?
Yeah.
Like K, yeah, like a knot, yeah.
Okay.
Why did you cut your dreads, Bfree? And in his picture, he looks like a gentleman with the dreads. So
okay, maybe he's not naughty dread. He's a naughty dread. So realistically, with me cutting my hair was kind of like a example actually from my family. Was someone close to my family to basically showcase that like you can let go of something and start fresh and keep going. That new growth and new beginning is sometimes something that you need to do, and it's okay to do that. So letting go of something that meant a lot, you know, I mean, there's something that I didn't even realize how much it was so just a big part of my image and
identity.
Yeah, identity. People, you know, I wasn't expecting so much from that, but yeah, that was just a choice that I wanted to make, and you know, it's still here. You know, the power is always within. You know, my hair is always the strength, and it's always regrowing. You know, it's gonna grow back even stronger. So, yeah, new beginnings. That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
I think about that myself. I talk about sometimes I just want to shave all my hair off, but it's part of my identity. It's part of my image. But I'm cutting it soon. I'm gonna cut it soon. But yeah, I can relate to that.
It'll feel good, and then do it again. You know, just make sure, you know,
exactly.
For a lot of people, it's hard to do, like in the cultures, like especially in the Rastas and like things like that. Like it was really hard for me. You know, like I have a whole tattoo with dreads on, and not myself, but the line of jaw, like having the dread tattoos, and so. You know, it really was really hard for me to do that. So that was a really big, like, just a new beginning, you know, and I was just happy to let it begin, you know. So
a new chapter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man.
I want to give a quick shout out to our super chatters so far of the night. We have Jake Hayes. He says, much love from Texas. Thanks for keeping us all inspired.
That's what's up. LST all day. What's up, Jake?
We have Scotty Blade says, Bfree is for the people and the love. I want to thank you for being awesome and for all the good vibes / positive energy you put into blading.
Man, that's what keeps it going, bro. I mean, if no one was digging it, it'd be really hard to keep going because the energy is what's the secret. Everyone bounces that off, man. So appreciate that.
Positive vibes. Keep it going. They're infectious. George Laybourne says, Bfree, your book is a fantastic idea, and I hope it does really well. Much love.
Thanks, man.
And we also had two on the previous one
do you remember?
that died. from South Central Blade Club,
Yes.
who's like, consistently gives us a big one, and we got a big one from Ray Mendez. So shout out to Ray Mendez and South Central Blade Club as well.
I'm glad you remember those because I forgot and I was hoping that there was some way to retrieve those. Topher Klimek also says hashtag Let's Get It Forever. I know that's like your motto. Do you want to dive into that for like a minute?
Yeah, I mean, the Let's Get It Forever thing, that literally just naturally happened. When I first started doing my little, Bfree vlogs, that's how that started. Trying to document the skating every day. And then, at that time in my life, I was working a full-time job, and my daughter was just born, and just a lot was going on. So like making time to do stuff was just even more crazy. So that motivation was just one of the hashtags that I just started doing. And another one was survive another good day, and you can do it too. Those are like, you make it, you clocked in at work, you clocked out, now it's time to get going on the next thing. You're never really clocked out. And that's what it is. Like, you're never really like clocked out. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, always reference that, you're just learning how to stay Super Saiyan all the time. And it comes with switch. So like that whole theory was just like something that like, let's get it forever. I want to, till the wheels fall off, and then even in heaven, so you just keep it going, for the next, it feels good when you say it, when you do it, and that's what you're doing. You're whether it's studying, whether you're trying to get a job, whether you are going to the gym every day, whether you are, whatever your passion is, it relates to everybody. It's not just skating. The skating is just how I just found it, but it's everybody. So like everybody who's watching this can tap into that. You know what I mean? It's real.
Totally. That makes sense.
Yeah, man.
Scotty Blades says, I want to know if he has had any offers from New Skates and what it's like skating for Flying Eagle. I don't know what that is.
That was one of my questions too that I was going to ask if no one else asked it.
What did he ask the first part? What was the first part?
Do you have you had any offers for New Skates?
Oh, okay.
I wanted to ask about the Flying Eagle too, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yes. Good call, Scotty.
Yeah. Shout out to you. Thanks for the question. So yeah, before, like, once the Valo days were coming to an end, there was a little time period where I was like just figuring out what skates that I wanted to try, or like that felt good. That was just it. Like, I just wanted the skate to feel good. And also be able to support with the ideas of what I was trying to do. You know what I mean? So, I tried a lot of different skates. I did Gods for a minute. That was one. Razors, I tried those. It was just basically time trying to find something that was good. K2, that was a whole mission trying to do that. And I learned a lot from all these little different things, because your mind, like, I'd gone from skating one skate for like almost 9-8 years, like however long it was, to skating the Vols for a really long time. And so trying to find something different did take a minute, but it was great to try these skates that I knew nothing about. Flying Eagle had reached out a while back, and they had offered me to try some skates. And I was honest with them. They were still kind of behind on what was going on in the aggressive world because they didn't really know. So it's been a great, experience being able to have some input and vision with like what can be possible. So far they've been super, super supportive and like just great. The only thing we just need to do is just get to the point to where they are everywhere, and get it to where everything is right. But there are things in the works, and I can't say too much about it, but there are some stuff that is happening, and I'm excited about it and see what happens, even though it's been a little
things like that.
Rough. Yeah, it's a little bit
I
of
love
rough.
surprises.
Yeah, it's been a rough time with the pandemic and stuff going on. I'm around people that are, not necessarily at high risk, but are, can be affected by it. So I've been very mindful about doing a lot of things. But Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Flying Eagle for sure.
I'm looking forward to that too, because in all honesty, I haven't seen anybody else riding those skates, and I saw you riding them, and I was honestly very shocked. Oh, I seen I know Jojo Velasquez rides the
Yeah,
regular like rec blades, whatever, and he kills it on those things, by the way. But
yeah.
when I saw
Shout out,
you riding them, I was like, that's
yeah.
good, and I see that if things are in the work, that sounds good because
And I had to change them up a little bit. I went from making them like the reg style to kind of making them more street, and they had never seen nothing like. Well,
they're
man, I'm
very
sure.
untraditional from other
Yeah,
skates.
making it how it is, and even with just doing that, they've seen so much, positive feedback and stuff. So just doing that has shown case that like, okay, well, this is something that I know will work. So that's been a great blessing too. It is hard. It's hard to just do anything with this like skates. Like it's hard. It's hard to, reaching out to a place that's far away, and
Where are they based out of?
they're based in China. So
Oh, damn, I didn't even know that.
yeah. So I'm far trying to, negotiate and stuff sometimes. So it's really it's hard, So I'm hoping that, and as the times keep changing and more things change and the more generations get into it, there will be outlets and stuff like that. There will be someone to look up to that's paving the way, that's showcasing that you can, survive on making your dream. It's the worst thing to try to tell someone that you can't survive living your dream out. So you want to try to figure out just ways that we can keep that going, and educate people about, what they're doing, especially with business and stuff for sure. Definitely. Yeah. But
That's awesome.
Badass.
Yeah.
That's a all right, let's get to some more of these questions.
Yeah, there's a few good ones in here. Yeah,
Jesse Provler, and you know what? I'm sorry.
Big shout out to ESG though for shooting all these photos when we were all these days. Like I forgot to mention that. I gotta mention that because that was real. Shooting photos every day.
Yeah. ESG puts in work. And I saw a lot of that stuff with you. That was incredible. He keeps the Bay Area alive for so many years now.
For sure. SF, baby.
ASF.
SF.
Jesse Provler says, and I think we talked about this a while ago too, but have you always been a super positive person, even as a young kid, or is your positivity something that you've cultivated through your life up until this point?
DNA, baby. DNA. I think that's definitely something that you continuously can grow into. But if you're ever able to, meet my father, you got to meet my dad, so you've seen how my dad is. So, it's definitely something that you have to, it takes a patience and a time. It's not something that you can just snap your fingers and you're a positive person. Of course, there's the good and the bad, but there's always ways to find the good out of everything. So I think the more situations you go through and the ones that you are harder than others, that's what makes you who you are, and your character shows from that. So you're just looking at someone that's just been through a lot and still trying to keep it going, so yeah.
Respect. Yeah, it's something I'm sure, even if it's something that you have naturally or if it's something you cultivate, it's something that you have to work on to maintain and to keep that balance.
100%.
There's another question in regards to that. I'm going to skip a couple, but just because it's in regards to that last question, Kevin Dugard asks, can you talk about the importance of being a positive mentor within your community?
Man, thank you, Kevin. Shout out to that. It's important to surround yourself with like-minded people. If you find yourself surrounded with people that are constantly doing things not for themselves, but doing things that are putting on for their community or for an organization or just whatever they feel passionate about, I think those things start gravitating towards you, and you'll start being able to start putting that out yourself. But the most important thing is just getting over that first hurdle. You just have to start somewhere. And not worry about the accolades or what could happen, or if no one likes it, or if you only get one like, or if you all those things that don't matter. So starting somewhere is key. And I think that's very important to start something, especially in your community where you are. So my biggest thing is
it starts at one step, right?
it starts with you. You know what I'm saying? It starts with you. So you be the beacon of the light. You know what I'm saying? So one example that you could do for your community and speak out for, if you have a pair of skates at your house, and you're able to go to your local skate park, if you have one close by or know somewhere where there's kids at, you're able to give out some of your old skates or something. You know, things like that. That's what helps speak out for your community, for sure.
For sure. That's I'm with you. Ray asked this question, but I think we already touched on it, but maybe we could touch on it again, because maybe we didn't answer this directly in this way. But how do you stay motivated to skate every day for over 3 years? He said it's like Shaolin monk level Zen.
And appreciate that. Honestly, man, the meaning of everything that's with it for you guys. I mean, you know, it's not like I'm doing this for myself. No, this is something that's taking all of us to make it possible. I believe so strongly in energy and good vibes from all around the world, and so I feel like that's what kind of helps generate the motivation and also the energy too to keep going. You know, my family has been one of the biggest support system. I wouldn't be able to be as strong, as focused as I would be if I was just, you know, not focused, you know, not in a position to be able to solely give this my all, you know, not being, you know, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But I think it took that time to kind of get past the you know, how serious was it getting, you know, I think after it's serious for anyone after the first 3 days, right? But like after the first 30 days or like first 100 days, then 500 days and 1,000 and whatever. So it's not necessarily the number that it is. It's just understanding what impact that it's having, and if it's creating a value for people to be able to take their own passions and take something and do something with it, then this is where I'm at. This is what I'm going to keep doing until I can't do it anymore. So, you know, I'm just grateful for people even catching on. I'm grateful for you guys even reaching out and doing an interview on this. Is probably the first time we've ever really got to do this in a long time. And I know we spoke and stuff at the cons, and like at Bashi. Shout out to Bashi. And
shout out Bashi.
Yeah, and just trying to get this going. And I think the more motivation we have, like the more people that are still skating and just putting it out there in their own way, that's what it's about, you know. So I'm doing my part. Everyone's doing their part. We're like a big canvas, and we're just filling this painting up, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm gonna do it until my paint runs out, right? So go.
Damn, what a fucking motivational ass answer that was. Chris Crowder asks, he says, I absolutely loved your skating and charging. What was it like filming for that? And what was the hardest trick for you in that video?
Oh man, charging. What's up? Yo, Billy, do you remember charging, man?
Yeah, I do, man. That was a great time.
That was our last movie night, actually, charging.
Yeah, I saw that was great. Surfing the vans and stuff. I think the hardest trick was probably the first trick, because that was my first time being on tour. It was the first time really taking skating. And
was it the 360?
Yes.
Yeah.
At that first,
that was so sick.
Breakfast clip. First, yeah, that was probably the first and then maybe through the tree too, because I had that's when I had
toured that's one I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, I was there for that. That was insane.
Yeah, through the two.
I was really scared for you because the tree was so thin and it was higher than you had to go through, and I was like, you could so easily clip in that, and it's so tall. If you clip, you're just finished.
Yeah, the railing.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah. That was great, just because we were. I think that was right when it was Southern Tour was about to be over a little bit, and everyone was kind of figuring out what they were doing at Cali. So that was a really great time. The whole tour was just changed the game. I think that really puts perspective for everyone. If you are able to go on a tour with your friends or in general, that really shapes who you are. It really does. It really brings out your true character and brings
Babe?
out what's your
Can
value.
you put on the back light over here or something? Like a
I don't
light?
think your mute button's working.
For me?
Yeah.
It's not working?
Well, it didn't work there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You can hear me.
Yeah. It's not working?
My mute button's not working.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know why that just like made me think of like some like Cat Williams skit. I don't know.
That's cool.
Hey.
Thanks.
Hey, shout out to Corey.
Yeah.
Yo, but yeah, trying to keep that tour life going. That was like the whole thing that started a lot too. Like that really that changed the game. I think I was like just about to turn 21 maybe, or just 20. Yeah, so like that was like right. No, maybe literally, maybe it was 19. I think. Oh no, it's so long. But that really changed the game, and I think the charging was a great era. And shout out to AJ, like Adam Johnson, like really, he was like the wild man that just wanted to just do stuff that no one else was trying to do. You know, like from all the videos too. You know, like the generic tour videos, all the KFCs, and it was an honor to be able to be a part of that, and also like hang out with Billy. And so I think that might have been the first time we really got to skate and meet and link up.
For sure.
And meet my family and stuff too. You guys coming.
Oh,
that was like a crazy point in my time, my life right there too. And it was like, yeah, it was great, man. I mean, it's crazy that all that was real and it was documented. You know, it's there forever. So
yeah, that was a really special time, and that we all got to share that.
Yeah, man.
Even just watching that the other day at movie night, I was like, wow, that was.
Yeah, dude, we were doing some stuff that just hadn't been like that, you know. It was like some old like USD tour video kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was like Alex and Farm and Bellino and Nick Kelso,
and they would rotate with all
Michael Collins and like everyone. So many people, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, how much you guys miss touring? Like, just even though it's a lot of work, just to wake up every day not knowing where you're skating, where you're going, who you're picking up. I miss
all that, dude. I miss just like. I mean, things change once you get a little older, right? Like you have the real life situation. And it's like hard to have that. But having that then and just being able to just only be thinking about skating, like that's a hard thing. Like now I can't even like, you know, I'm thinking about skating all the time too, but I have so many different things too that I can't just only focus on that, you know, so. You know, never forget those times. I always, you know, now that COVID's going on, it's even more to think about. Like, damn, it's crazy. Like, you know, it's crazy. It's just, it's what?
so much. Yeah.
I don't know, man. So, and people are still doing stuff too. And I'm just, you know, I'm just waiting to kind of see what is going on because no one really knows. No one knows what's going on.
No one knows.
No one knows, and it hasn't even been wintertime yet, you know, so
yeah,
it hasn't even been wintertime yet, you guys, so, you know, so just, you know, be smart there, be smooth, but yeah, we definitely have to keep the tours alive at the end, like, once everything is figured out, like, the tours, like, that's something that I hopefully doesn't get put in the, you know, the time machine or the box, you know, the box is something no one's really doing anymore, you know, it becomes vintage. You know, becoming vintage to go on tours, you know. So
you should do the Bfree blading book tour with where you bring all the skates for kids to try on, do a little book promotion, book signing, get kids to come out. That would be like one of the most like you know, that'd be huge.
I think Haffy did that not too long. He just did that by himself and did an RV tour with himself. You remember that? I was like,
when he drove cross country.
Yeah, that would be so sick. I would love to do that. I know my family would be
because yours wouldn't be just one thing. It wouldn't be just skating. It would be promoting the book, be promoting the youth, introducing new people to skating. So it'd be like a different way you toured like you never toured before.
Yeah, it'd be more time. I could be able to like stop and do stuff.
Yeah.
There was an idea that we were talking about doing, but just kind of all this happened. There's so much stuff that was really derailed a lot of stuff, but also didn't. So it's kind of figuring out what's the best move. But yeah, book tour, man, it'd be amazing. I'm still amazed that it's here. It's like
I can't wait to order mine.
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
It's the right one. Like it's not like the pages are right and like just all the it's still crazy.
That's such an amazing accomplishment, man. Like honestly, when I first saw that, I was just like stunned. So that's really you should be really proud of yourself. That's incredible.
I'm proud of just everybody. Like like I don't even. It's crazy. Like even the people at the business, like at the place, like how many emails I had to like, all the just, people could have been like really, not helpful, but people were very helpful. It was a blessing. So yeah, big shout out to everybody.
I think we'll do one more question. There's a few more, but there's a good one, and then kind of just let you do your shout outs because this has been a pretty good talk. We're coming up on 2 hours already.
Man.
But it's been amazing thus far, and we've got to do this again in the future.
Honor, bro.
Yeah, it's been the honor is ours. Kevin Dugard says, can you talk about the importance of being a positive mentor within your community?
We did that one already.
Oh, we did that one. I guess. Then I guess we'll do this question. Can we swing back and get some insight on what customizations you do on your skates?
Sure. So the skates that I ride now, I've kind of went through a few of the molds of the skate, trying to figure out which plastic feels the best. There are different flexibilities in different kinds of plastics. So right now I am skating the F3 origami Flying Eagle skate. It comes in red and black and has like this like origami skull on the back. That's been the best shape so far that I've been skating. I've been taking off most of the assets on the skate that normally you would have for like on the rec style. For me, I like my skate to be as light as possible. If there's no space for something that doesn't need to be on there, then I'll take it off. So if there's like, if I'm not doing like the big wheel skate, for big wheel skate, I'll probably put a 45 strap on, but on my aggressive skate that I'm skating, I would take it off. So I take that off and take off all the side pieces that are on there for like doing sharp pivot turns. So if you want to like touch the ground, you like kind of gives a little space that you don't actually destroy the boot, but I just like the boot to be all rugged, so I just take that piece off. And also with the setup that the frames are, because they're not UFS yet. That's the one thing that they're trying to get situated. Yeah, because they've never, it's been a freestyle skate. They took a sole plate and put it on, but the frames that they come with the actual skate are meant for that. But if you were to put on your like create original frames like I do, you would have to do a little drill work with it until they get that situated. So
the skates themselves don't come UFS, even with the sole plate?
The sole plate is the same size as the original like big wheel setup frames bolts.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So they're a little bit bigger, they're a little bit thicker. So you still use the bolt for it. You just have to make the little space for the bolt to fit. So that's the only thing that has been the working point. So, but I'm just excited that they're just juiced and want to get into the culture. Because, there's been plenty of big brands that are not really trying to do that. So, trying to get into the culture, doing the opposite of stuff. So, been super grateful to be a part of, like, this history, too. It's like they're like another version of, like, what's going on, trying to figure out their space and figuring out what is possible. So yeah, I'm excited that they're just even enthusiastic about it as I am. So it's been great to meet up with someone else that's trying to like figure out like let's do something. So yeah, super juiced.
That's cool. A new skate to the industry is definitely going to be exciting.
Yeah, that'd be crazy, right?
Yeah, something fresh. It doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, man, really, like changing the whole way of how someone was operating to be able to bring a whole new element to it, bringing a whole different direction. So You know, the communication, that's something too that, you know, you have to keep in mind, and the distance and all that. So just keeping everything as on top and focused as possible. So just can't wait to see what's gonna come. Yeah,
Hell
man. Yeah.
That's exciting. Like Austin said, you know, seeing something new in the skating industry is just yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, man.
This has been an incredible interview, and I feel like we could do this for hours, as good as this goes on. But I feel like we're gonna have to put this one back to another time. But before we let you go, you know, you've always been a very insightful person. I want to thank you for joining us and sharing your trips, not only to
thank you,
not only to Africa, and sharing your book and, you know, your mission escape, but you know, I just want to also thank you because of, you know, your commitment, and you're a really positive force within our community. And I think a lot of people look at you for inspiration. And just want to thank you for being such a positive source within that.
Thanks, bro. A legend, man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
No, thank you, man. But before we part ways, knowing the insightful person you are, I was just curious if you had any last words you wanted to impart on the listeners.
Just a really special thank you to everyone that's watching and tuning into this. I hope that this is just the start for you. I hope you got some kind of value from this and being able to figure out what makes you happy in your life. My family, I can't, you know, thank them enough. My friends, everybody that's made this possible up until this point, like just even just being alive, you know. So I'm just really grateful for everybody, and I hope to, you know, continue to keep putting stuff out for the world and for our community, and keep growing it, you know. So until we're like the biggest tree that's so strong, and, you know, I mean, those roots are so deeply planted that, like, we can't budge, and it's going to take all of us to do that. So I hope that this helps you on that path, and I'll see you in the end. All right, real.
Damn, Bfree.
Bfree, you are the man.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. You're the man.
Go ahead.
I feel so like grateful and appreciative to have someone like you in our sport, in our community, especially as a friend too. Everybody, be sure to check out bfreeblading.org. Check out When Jimmi Skates, Bfree's new book, on Amazon and lulu.com. Check out Streets of Legos by Dom West, also on YouTube and Vimeo. Quick shout out to new super chatters in the room. Rory Musones Jr. He says support something, and Aaron Schultz says this is way better than the debate. Love y'all. Thank you everybody who joined us, dealing with all the difficulties of the Zoom and the live stream and stuff like that.
Hey, 2020, baby, 2020.
Hey, 2020 is it's technically difficult.
You get away with anything this year by saying that. Anything. You'd be like, get into a car accident. 2020, whatever. So thank you guys, everybody. Bfree, thank you again, and we'll see you guys again, man, on the next one.
Thank y'all. Big dream. Thank y'all.
Peace, everyone.
We'll do it again soon, brother.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.